My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome all of you for today's session of self-inquiry, Vichar Sara Sangraha by Sri Ramana Maharshi. We were having a series of question answer by the master and disciple. Now the disciple asks next question. So Sri Ramana Maharshi told two paths. One is the Yoga Marga and Gnana Marga. Then Ramana Maharshi, the disciple asks, can you practice both Yoga Marga and Gnana Marga, two in one? See, this always we will have doubt. Now we don't know it. We are not sure which one to get. Let me try both. This doubt will also come because I am not sure whether Yoga Marga will take me or Gnana Marga will take me. Let me try both. Right? So Ramana Maharshi smiles and says, the pranayama or yoga marga is suitable for a beginner. You do the breathing and hold the breath. Okay. There's a puraka, rechaka, kumbhaka. Breathing in, holding the breath, breathing out, holding the puraka, rechaka, kumbhaka. That will stop the mind. Mind will be silenced by pranayama. So this is okay for a training practice. It's like a beginner's practice. Whereas Atma Gnana, Atma Vichara can be practiced all the time. Okay. It is like this. Yoga or pranayama is a specific practice. It requires some specific time. Morning half an hour, evening half an hour. You cannot keep on doing yoga all the time. Morning to evening you cannot keep doing. Correct? Yogic practice is limited by the time. Morning 4 o'clock I'll get up and do some practice of yoga. Okay, then I'll go for work. Correct? So you have a specific duration for the yoga practice, Ashtanga Yoga. Nobody can do it for full time. But let me ask you a question. When do you practice breathing? No, morning 2 hours I practice breathing and evening 1 hour I practice breathing. Is it possible?
It is process.
Breathing is a natural process throughout the day. Right? Breathing doesn't require, breathing is a natural process throughout the day. It is required to be all the time. When you are doing yogasana, you have to do breathing. When you are doing cooking, you have to do breathing. Can you stop breathing? Breathing is a natural process. Atma Vichara is a natural process. Atma Vichara can be done when you are doing yoga practice. Atma Vichara can be done when you are doing after yoga practice. Atma Vichara can be done while cooking. Atma Vichara can be done while playing with the children. Atma Vichara can be done while watching the movie. Atma Vichara is like breathing, normal, natural. You don't need any specific practice. You don't know for yoga practice. Definitely, you don't need a yoga mat. Okay, and you have to put yoga pajamas, and you need a room where you have to sit. Right. So they are all required. Specific things are required. Okay, what do you require for breathing? No, I will have a breathing mask. Nowadays, that's also required, I think, because of corona. Otherwise, for breathing, do you need anything? It's natural, anywhere, anytime. Atma Vichara, Atma Gnana is natural. It can be clubbed with anything, including yogasana. And people see when you are doing yogasana, oh, this guy is doing good posture, nice way he is doing. But nobody will notice when you are doing Atma Vichara. Okay, it's an internal process. It can be done all the time, and it is very natural for us. And the best and the easiest simple spiritual practice is Atma Vichara. You don't even have to chant the mantra. Even mantra chanting also somebody knows you are chanting mantra. Atma Vichara nobody knows. Atma Vichara or self-inquiry can be integrated with your life very smoothly, very easily. And nobody will come to know that you are doing Atma Vichara, but your progress is very good in Atma Vichara because it is the most natural process. Is that clear? All that time, what you do in Atma Vichara? When you are thinking that I am doing something, you just inquire who is doing. I am eating, then who is eating? I am thinking, who is it thinking? In that way, you take the attention to the self, which is not a thinker, which is not a doer, which is the Sakshi. Right? So again and again, come back to your natural self. This can be done 24/7 hours a day, whole day without any effort. And Atma Vichara can be combined with your office work, it can be combined with your homework, it can be combined with the children, playing with children, it can be combined with the movie. Because it is very natural and very simple. It doesn't require special time and effort. Of course, you can do some special time also. Sometime you can sit and focus on who am I. But throughout the day, you can get into, when you get angry, who am I? Immediately you'll come back to natural self. When you are getting carried away, some boss or husband or wife is shouting at you. Just think for whom they are shouting. Nobody. I am Atma. So you'll be very peaceful in any situation. Somebody comes and praises you. Okay. So who am I? I am the Atma. Every situation in life, Atma Vichara takes you to the natural self. Balance. Then the disciple asks the question, if Atma Vichara is so natural and so simple, why scriptures are telling two paths, different paths? Right? Why there are two different paths which are told in the scriptures? Maharishi ji, you are telling Atma Vichara is very simple, very natural. Scriptures are telling yoga. Yoga involves a lot of different type of posture, devotion. So many different paths are told. Why? Ramana Maharishi says, yeah, Vedas and Upanishads are telling different paths, different ways. So Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga, they all appear to be very different. But when it comes to the end, they're all one. Finally, it's Atma Vichara. All are directed for finally Atma Vichara. But people want to do different things at the beginning point of time. The yoga, any other practice, any other sadhana, let's say yoga, okay, it is like training a bull. A very big bull is there, powerful. You have seen the bull fighting? Very big bull is there. How does the bull train it? He'll take a whip, chati, he'll beat the bull. Finally, he'll make the bull listen. Have you seen that? You're a horse trainer. They'll use a whip. Do it. Right? Yoga is like using a whip to train the bull called mind. Mind is a bull. Atma Vichara, on the other hand, there's no whip. You show the grass to the bull. The moment you show the grass to the bull, good bull will keep on going. You don't need to, you train the bull with instead of using whip, you take a little bit of grass and bull will follow you. There's no force used in Atma Vichara, but there is the force used in Yoga Marga and any other practice. Okay, I want to do bhajana, I want to do prayer, bhajana. Okay, you have to get up at some time, you have to sit. Okay, you have to take a bath and sit. I want to do puja, you have to take a bath, you have specific time. I want to do Atma Vichara. While taking bath, who is taking bath? No, you don't have to wait for bath to take the bath to do Atma Vichara. Okay, you take a bath, Atma Vichara. Then you are using a soap. Then you remember, soap is for the body, but Atma is pure. Where are you? Anything you do, you can convert into Atma Vichara. You go to a beach, oh, waves and oceans are there. Atma is like wave, ocean, water. Okay, thoughts are like wave. Who am I? Atma. So anywhere you come back to yourself. Atma Vichara is done without forcing the mind. It's a gentle way of being. It's like teaching your children. The child is not studying. Okay. Mother will come and say, study. The child will appear to be studying, not studying. She comes and shouts at you, are you not studying? Okay, the more you shout, the more rebellious child becomes. But mother will come and say, my dear child, you are a very good child, a good boy, good children study. Now you study, and after you study, I'll give a chocolate to you. The child will study. There's no force, a gentle way. Atma Vichara is a gentle way of taking the mind to the self. And it can be done anytime, anywhere. So Ramana Maharshi is saying, why there are paths? Because people want. So people have different types of qualification of offsprings, different types. Okay, people are different. People come with a different background, different vasanas. Right. For example, most of the people are body conscious. I am the body. They don't understand what is Atma. They don't understand what is Atma Vichara. And they're all the time they're spending time on beautiful decorating their body. Okay. For them, Vedanta says, oh, you have body, improve the body, become healthy. Then what will happen? You start with yoga. Then gradually understand, oh, improving the body, I have to improve the mind also. So then you start meditation. Like that, Veda Mata is giving you step-by-step instructions based on where you stand. So Atma Vichara is very simple, but you can't tell somebody who is interested in yoga because he is not interested in Atma. He is interested only in the body. For him, body is the Atma. Veda says, okay, let him start where the body is. Body is the Atma for him. Let him start from there. Are you getting what I'm saying? Why there are different paths? Because people are at different levels of spiritual sadhana, or rather maturity. So Veda Mata gives the paths according to their ability. The highest sadhana, everybody finally have to come to Atma Vichara. By inquiring self, the ignorance of the mind has to be destroyed. The self has to be, I thought, which is ignorance in the heart, has to be destroyed. So then Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, yogi is, devotee is greater than, bhakta is greater than a yogi. So what is bhakti? Bhakti means the surrendering the ego. Finally, surrendering the ego means inquiring who am I and dropping the I thought. Real I is pure consciousness. So this path is called Brahmadnana, Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya. Just understand that various paths are told to people because they are at different level of evolution. A primary school children, you cannot say they teach physics of 10th standard. So he has to start where you are, he has to learn, he has to improve, then finally you come to 10th standard. Don't be impatient. That's what is the teaching of Ramana Maharshi. But finally, everybody has to come to Atma Vichara. Self-inquiry. That's the fine. Is there something beyond self-inquiry? No. When the ego is dropped, you are over. So don't be imagining that okay, every path, every step, every path has something will lead to something else will lead to something. Finally, I'll come to self-inquiry. After self-inquiry, what? No. Jivan Mukti, liberation. Nothing is there. When you come to self-inquiry, you come to the most natural path, where you can spend any time of the day, you can go into self-inquiry. When your wife is shouting at you, or when a husband is shouting at you, self-inquiry. When you are playing with children, self-inquiry. When you're eating food, self-inquiry. Anytime, go back to self. Gradually, the ego dissolves and pure self, Brahman, shines. This is the path of self-inquiry. Then the next question comes, question number 37. After, by doing self-inquiry, okay, so here the question is about devotion. The mind is dissolved into harm. That means ego is dropped. Only the self is there. Atma is there. There is only consciousness shining. The consciousness alone is there. The mind has taken the form of self. Then who is there to inquire? Who will inquire? I cannot inquire because already the inquiry is possible when there is when I am not recognize myself. After my recognize myself, is there inquiry possible? It is like a shepherd has lost the sheep and he's searching for the sheep. Okay. Normally shepherds will carry their one small sheep in their shoulder and then they keep on searching. Without recognizing that the sheep which is carrying on shoulder is the sheep. After finding the sheep, then does he have to search? There's no search. Over. After self-inquiry, there's no search at all. Over. See, in yoga, any other path, this goal is still away. I have to do this samadhi, I have to achieve this, I have to achieve this. There's a goal oriented. In self-inquiry, after the searching, seeking person dissolves, there's nothing to, no goal to achieve. Sri Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, it is naturally so, because Jiva is Shiva. Shiva himself is Jiva. Jiva is Shiva, Shiva is Jiva. How is that? When the grain is there inside the husk, right? Rice grain is there inside the husk. It's called paddy, bhatta. Rice is there in the husk. It's called paddy. When the husk is removed, it is called rice. So similarly, when one is identified with the karma or identified with the body, it's called Jiva. When he's not identified with the body, it's called Shiva. It is the same rice which is there with the covering is called paddy. The cover is removed, it's called rice. Similarly, same consciousness, when it's covered with the body and mind, it's called Jiva. When it's not covered by body and mind, it's called Shiva. Jiva doesn't become Shiva, only Shiva is there all the time. So similarly, the Jiva forgets his true nature. The consciousness identified with the body forgets its nature and thinks I am the body. Okay. But when he recognizes this true nature as Shiva, he has not gained anything. Out of ignorance, he has identified the body. Now he becomes free. How does he become free? Just like you dehusk the paddy to get the rice, you have to dehusk the Jiva. How do you dehusk? By understanding what I am not. Nanu, nanembudu nanalla. Ideha manabuddhi nanalla. Sachidananda Atma Shivanandane, Shivoham, Shivoham. I have to dehusk. I have to remove the covering. What is the covering? I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, ignorance. The covering is to be removed. Doesn't mean that you have to, that doesn't mean the body has to drop. The cover has to be removed in the intellect, buddhi. Wrong understanding has to be removed. Okay. So this wrong understanding removal is important. Then Sri Ramana Maharshi says this has to be done again and again and again until you are fully established in Atma, Shiva Tattva. Why? Because your vasanas will come. You are sitting in meditation. Okay. I am Shiva. The wife comes, you become the husband. Vasanas comes. You are sitting in my meditation. You are Shiva. Your daughter comes, you become the mother because vasanas will come up. Okay. Again and again, you have to go back to yourself. The deconditioning or removal of the vasanas has to happen by again and again going back to self. How do you go back to self? Through self-inquiry. Sri Ramana Maharshi says, somebody wants to become an officer. Okay. A clerk is there, he has to become officer. He cannot become officer just like that. He has to do a lot of work. He has to pass some exam and finally become officer. So Jiva is Shiva only. The one who became the officer is the clerk only. Same guy. But he has to acquire the qualification to become an officer. So the Jiva is Shiva only. Okay. Jiva to become Shiva, he doesn't have to acquire qualification. He has to drop all qualification. What is qualification? I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, I am the husband, I am the wife, I am son-in-law, I am father-in-law, I am engineer, I am doctor. All these qualifications you have to drop. In your office, a clerk has to become promoted into officer. He has to achieve something. He has to get some result. He has to pass exam. He has to acquire qualification to become a clerk, to become officer. Jiva to become Shiva, you have to drop all the qualification. Both takes time because to drop the qualification also it will take time. You won't be able to drop one day. So that process is Atma Vichara. The reflection on the self has to be done constantly. Again and again, mind will come back. I am the body because of vasanas. Again and again, you have to go back to yourself. So this is typically what is said in Vedanta is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa is the way to realization. Shravana, listening, Manana, contemplation, Nididhyasa. Now, it also says, Vedanta says, Jnana comes through only Shravana. Atma Jnana comes through Shravana. Okay. Listening alone, Tattvamasi, you are Brahman, the teaching will give Jnana. But what happens? Our vasanas are there. No, the vasanas will catch hold of us. Okay. For a very highest seeker, a purified seeker, when Atmadhyana is given Tattvamasi, he'll immediately realize because already vasanas have gone. But for most of the people, vasanas are there, impressions are there. So you have to listen Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, you have to do repeatedly. The dehusking process, dropping of the qualifications has to happen over and again, again and again. There's a story in case of story in Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's life. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa meets his guru called Totapuri. Totapuri teaches him Brahma Vidya, Tattvamasi, you are Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa meditates, I am Brahman. He is established in Brahman. Then 3-4 days are over. Then Totapuri says, come, let us go. They take 3-4 days, he is immersed in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. I am Brahman. Then Totapuri says, come. Then Ramakrishna Paramahamsa gets up and goes to temple, comes back. Totapuri says, come, let us meditate. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa asks, why meditate? Why should I meditate? Then Totapuri says, he has a vessel, right? Monks will carry some vessel. It's called kamandal, a brass vessel, brass kamandal. He shows to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, see, this is a brass kamandal. Okay. If I don't wash it every day, the brass kamandal will become dirty. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, what if instead of brass kamandal, gold kamandal is there? Gold, does it require washing every day? Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says the gold kamandal. Totapuri is the brass kamandala. Totapuri requires a very again and again meditation, cleaning up process. Whereas Ramakrishna Paramahansa, 1 day, 3 days meditation, Aham Brahmasmi, matter is over, nothing more pending. Shravana Matra, once he got Dana, is 3 days meditation is over. But most of us are like either brass kamandala or steel kamandala or iron kamandala. We have to keep on washing it every day. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa has to be done every day until it shines fully. So then the question asked is, if Jiva is Shiva, okay, Jiva is Shiva, okay, what prevents Jiva from realizing the self? See, what prevents Jiva from realizing self? Jiva forgets I am the Shiva because Jiva is attracted to the objects of the world. Through sense organs in the body, when you see the world looks solid and you are attracted by the drama unfolding in the world. It is like going to a movie. In nowadays movies, you have a 3D movies where you put a 3D glasses, or 4D movies where we put 4D glasses. The movie looks so real. There are 5D movies I have seen. In the 5D movie, you put glasses and you sit in chair. The movie appears so real. You see as if you are in top of the Himalayas. You see below the Himalayas, the river and all you can see from top of Himalayas. And you feel as if you are falling from Himalayas. Everything appears to be real because you are wearing the glasses and you are sitting in a 4D, 5D chair. Nothing is happening to you. It's all the sense organs are giving that input. And you start taking it's real. You are afraid. Similarly, when the Jiva identifies with the body or uses the body, it forgets himself. You understand? But please understand, Jiva doesn't, this forgetfulness is called avarana. But Jiva doesn't forget fully. Jiva doesn't forget fully. Jiva doesn't forget fully I am Shiva. Only partially forgets. How does it partially forget? Let me ask you a question, my dear. Do you exist? Yes, I exist. I exist, you don't forget. I exist is Shiva. It's called Sat. Are you aware? Yes, I am aware. Do you need a proof that you are aware? No. I am aware, I know I am aware. I exist, I know I exist. So I exist is called Sat. I am aware is called Chit. For that, no proof is required. Sat and Chit is Shiva only. Then what are you forgetting? The Ananda, the bliss. So Ananda is forgotten. Okay. So Jiva does not forget I am Shiva fully. Jiva only forgets partially. Ananda aspect it forgets. Right? So whenever you say I am, I is consciousness. I am is existence. Everybody speaks of I am. You speak of I am. That means you always remember your Shiva. But what you don't remember is that Shiva is Ananda. That Ananda aspect is forgotten. That's all. How do you say I am Shiva? I am going to movie. Okay. I was in Bangalore. I was in Hyderabad. I am here. My dear, has your I am changed anytime? You are referring yourself as, you are calling yourself as unchanging I am. And you are perfectly correct that unchanging I am is Shiva. In Hyderabad, the body is not, when 20 years back you were in Hyderabad, body is different. Now body is different. So you are confusing the Shiva with the body. That's why you have lost Ananda, the bliss. So Jiva does not forget I am Shiva. Jiva forgets partially I am Shiva. Partial forgetfulness. That's called avarana. What is the partial forgetfulness? I am Ananda is forgotten. So that's where Jiva forgets Shiva. That's what Ramana Maharshi says. And there never was a Jiva. There never was a Jiva. Always it's Shiva only. Please understand, there is nobody called Jiva. There's only Shiva. How is that? A good actor puts on the role of a beggar. He begs. Then he puts on the role of a rich man. He enjoys life. Then he puts on the role of a thief. He does stealing. And he puts on the role of a policeman, catches the thief. How many people are there? There's nobody, only one actor. Was there a beggar? There was no beggar. Was there a rich man? There's no rich man. Was there a policeman? There's no policeman. There's only actor. That's why is there a Jiva? There's no Jiva. There's only Shiva. There never was a Jiva. The Shiva acted as Jiva, and Shiva's acting is so good, so real, that he forgets himself as Shiva, and he involves so much in the acting as Jiva. That's why he's called Nataraja. His acting is so real. So then the question is, if Jiva is Shiva, how does the concept of a experience of I arises? The I thought arises. The avarana does not cover your full Shiva nature. It only projects the I am the body thought. But it does not hide the self, Atma, which is the real I. So you can understand it very easily. Okay. See, I am wearing these glasses, right? And I am talking to you. My interest is in talking to you. My interest is in interaction. In the process of interaction and talking, I have forgotten these glasses. I am wearing the glasses. I am forgotten that I am wearing glasses. Then what happened to glasses? Glasses became a part of me. I am so absorbed in talking. I don't even remember that I am wearing glasses. Right? Similarly, Shiva wears a dress called body. And he is so involved in interacting with the world that the body becomes I itself. Shiva has not become Jiva. Shiva is only Shiva all the time. So don't think that, oh, I'll meditate and I'll become Shiva one day. You cannot, because there is no Jiva. There is only Shiva all the time. You only forgotten because you are wearing the dress called body. This is the teaching of Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi. In South Canara, there's a drama called Yakshagana. It's evening at 6 o'clock starts and goes up to 6 o'clock in the morning. Yakshagana is a dramatization of all this Purana. Purana means all these mythological stories. Devi comes, she kills Chanda, Munda, the demons, Asuras. She takes a weapon and kills them. Okay. So the climax will come in early in the morning. Drama starts at 6 o'clock. And early morning, the killing of the demon has to happen. The whole night they have been acting. Okay. So the person who is wearing the dress of the Devi thinks she is really Devi. Okay. This is called Avesha. She becomes possessed by Devi. Then she takes a big sword and really wants to kill those actors who are wearing the demon's dress. She starts chasing. And they run for their life because this person who is wearing the dress of the Devi, he is possessed by Devi. He is possessed by the concept that I am the Devi. He is so involved in the drama, Yakshagana. He takes a big sword and starts chasing these demons. They start here and run there, start running. So then actually this on the stage they'll keep pumpkins, kumbalkai. Okay, they'll catch hold of Devi and make the Devi cut the pumpkins. Once she cuts the pumpkin, she smashes the pumpkins. Then slowly she'll remember. Oh, that they will remember. I am the actor. The position goes. Right now, you are the Shiva, possessed by the idea called I'm Jiva. Come to senses. That's all is the teaching. Now, normally you get possessed also. No? When you talk to your husband, you get possessed. I am the wife. And you become seriously the wife. And the poor husband is in trouble. When you're talking to your wife, you become I am the husband. You get possessed by the husband. Right? When you really become the husband, you forget that you're playing the role of the husband. The wife is in trouble. We get possessed by so many things. The entire spirituality is drop the position. That means drop the idea that it's a mind. That's why Tyage Naike Amritattva Vanashu. Only Tyaga can lead to liberation. This is the teaching. There is never a Jiva in the world. There is only Shiva in all the dresses. That's why there's a stotra called Chamaka. Rudram Chamakam. In that Chamakam, everything is Shiva. You keep on praising Shiva in everything. A thief is Shiva, a hunter is Shiva, everything is Shiva. The Shiva alone is there. Shiva alone is the reality. There's no other. So with that, we'll conclude today's contemplation on teachings of Ramana Maharshi. Tomorrow we'll take up parables. Any questions are there?
When Jiva knows that he is Shiva, but so what prevents him to understand the Shiva? That question was not, answer was not clear. That's what I felt.
See, what prevents him from understanding the Jiva? See, it's like alcoholic, no? Okay? Alcoholic, he is habituated to drinking alcohol. So for 40 years he has been drinking alcohol. Then the doctor says, please don't drink alcohol, your health will improve. He drops the alcohol for one day. Again, next day, there's a temptation. That temptation is called vasana.
Vasana.
Jiva, again and again tempted by the vasana. And these vasanas will make Jiva forget that he is a Shiva again and again until you overcome the vasana. How does the alcoholic drop the vasana for alcohol? Again and again he has to stop. Again he has to go, there will be rehabilitation camp where he will be put 30 days, no alcohol. Like that, Jiva again and again gets tempted to become play the role of Jiva. The moment you see the wife, you become a husband. You forget your Shiva. Right? So the vasanas have to be overcome. How do you overcome the vasana? Again, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. Is it clear? Is the answer clear? Who asked the question?
Ram Prakash.
Is the answer clear or not clear?
Yeah, clear. Got it.
Okay. Anybody else has a question? Can you close for the day? 11:30, Kannada will start.